Yeah.
And obviously the whole world hopes that we will get a ceasefire in Gaza by the end of the year. The question has to be, I think, that if that does happen, what role will the UK play in what comes next? How will we use our considerable influence in the region and our convening power to make sure that what comes next is a Palestinian nation that comes out of the rubble?
Well, firstly, I completely agree with you. We need this ceasefire, and we need it right now. And obviously, there are intense discussions going on in relation to a Gaza ceasefire, which I hope bear fruit. To then go to your question, the immediate steps, it seems to me, are ensuring the hostages are released.
Yes.
Because they've been held a very, very long time, and they must be released. And a ceasefire is not worthy of its name if it doesn't involve the release of the hostages.
Of course.
Then next, of course, aid needs desperately to go in, both at volume and speed, to a very dire, catastrophic situation in Gaza. And then, as you allude to, we need to create the space through a ceasefire for the necessary steps or progress to a two-state solution, a safe and secure Israel and a viable Palestinian state, neither of which are in place at the moment. We must play, but that may seem rather distant at the moment as we look at it when we haven't even got a ceasefire, but I genuinely believe that it's the only long-term solution to the conflict. There are many steps in between that we are talking through with others, which involve what are the security arrangements in Gaza or other places until we get the progress that we need, who's going to be responsible, how's that going to operate. All of those are questions that I think the UK should be and is involved in, because if we're serious about the two-state solution, we have to answer all the questions from the day a ceasefire starts, and we hope that it does, to the end point at which we want to get to. Have we got answers to the very many questions that arise in the interim? And that's where we're working with others to answer, if you like, the question, well, what happens the day after a ceasefire?
And of course it isn't just, Palestine won't just be built from the ashes of Gaza.
No.
It also needs to be the West Bank as well. And we know that we are dealing with a government in Israel that at least its stated view is that they're not in favour of a two-state solution at the moment. And indeed, of course, some of the wilder members of the Israeli cabinet talk about annexation. Now, if annexation does happen, and we all, of course, hope it doesn't, I'm sure the West will condemn it. But is there a plan B further than condemnation if the West Bank is annexed?
Well, look, I'm very worried about the West Bank, and thank you for raising it, because I think necessarily there's a lot of focus on Gaza and obviously Lebanon recently as well. But the West Bank, there's not only the unlawfulness of the situation on the ground, but also terrible settler violence going on that needs to be dealt with. So the anchor has to be international law and respecting international law, and being clear about what that means in relation to our approach to the West Bank. These are difficult questions, but I strongly believe that we should anchor it in international law, and in relation to the West Bank, the position is therefore clear and settled as far as I'm concerned.